Hello and welcome to this week's Saturday Evening Cocktail, and I am particularly excited for this week's cocktail because I'm having a cocktail I've never had before. I've never even tried it. I'm having two because we're doing two variations of the same thing. I'm particularly excited because I've had a request, and you know you can always leave a request, leave it on Facebook, leave it in the YouTube comments. So we're gonna do something new, and for this recipe we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to 1971. What was happening in 1971? In early 1971, Led Zeppelin for the first time played "Stairway to Heaven" in concert to very little fanfare. They'd release it on their album much later in the year to much more fanfare. All in the Family would debut on TV. The Colts would beat the Cowboys in Super Bowl V. We'd walk on the moon again, Apollo 14. George Lucas, THX, his first feature film would be released. Starbucks would open for the first time. Disney World would open for the first time. The war on drugs would start. The Montreux Casino Fire, the inspiration for Smoke on the Water, that song, that would happen that year. A lot of stuff happened in 1971, but you know what? Maybe not every Saturday night was a banger for you. Maybe you weren't starting a fire at a casino or listening to Stairway to Heaven or partying or having a good time. Maybe it was the loneliest night of the week for you. Maybe you were sitting at home, gentlemen, thumbing through Playboy magazine. We don't judge at the Saturday Evening Cocktail. I know you were looking at it for the articles, and when you were looking at the articles, you were coming across Marino's Bartending Guide. And that was the first place that the recipe for the Alabama Slammer would ever be published, and that's what we're doing tonight. The Alabama Slammer started in Tuscaloosa. There was a Harry's bar there. It was big with the college crowd. It eventually worked its way up the coast. It went to TGI Fridays. It became a pitcher shot. So they'd make big pitchers of it, pour it around, became a bit of a party drink, and then it kind of fell away. People stopped drinking it. I only saw it once. People at a Chinese restaurant next to me in Worcester, a couple of guys ordered them. That's the only time I ever saw people order it. So this is new to me. We're going to give it a try. And it starts, there are two recipes. The traditional recipe we're going to start with. This is the one that goes back to Harry's in Tuscaloosa. Starts with Southern Comfort. We're going to do an ounce of Southern Comfort. I didn't even try Southern Comfort until this week. Couple of guys in college used to drink this. They'd mix it with lime. We're going to do an ounce of this. I bought the slightly higher proof of this. I never tried that till this week. We are going to do a half an ounce of sloe gin. This is something else I never tried till this week. I'm expanding my palate. I appreciate this. I appreciate the request. I appreciate the views. Sloe gin is a gin made in part with another fruit, the sloe berry. It calls for an ounce of amaretto. Full ounce of amaretto. And half an ounce of orange juice. And as you can see, you could probably mix up quite a bit of this stuff ahead of time if you're having a party, and pour it out in shots or make it as a punch. Do whatever you like. Give it a good shake, and when you're serving it up as a drink, it goes into a Collins glass like so. And we're going to set that off to the side. Now, there's a second recipe for this. That's in Difford's Cocktail Manual. Maybe you don't have all these ingredients handy. And this one's actually done with vodka. And we're going to do an ounce and a half of vodka for that. Like I said, I'm trying two different drinks for the people here. And this one also calls for the Southern Comfort. And that calls for 3/4 ounce of that. So you're going to get this sort of sweetened whiskey flavor as well, but the vodka is going to do sort of the heavy lifting on the alcohol here. You're going to need orange juice, and you're going to need an ounce of that. And again, seems like you could probably mix up a bunch of this ahead of time and do it as a punch, or as they kind of gave it out in, I guess, party shots. And just about 1/4 ounce of grenadine, and we're just going to eyeball that. That feels like 1/4 ounce. And same idea. We're going to shake that one. And again, this is sort of the alternate take, which comes from Difford's Cocktail Guide, and you can see it's a different color. Grenadine's doing that. So first, I'm gonna go with Difford's. That's nice. It's a peachy vodka drink. Kind of tastes a bit like bubble gum. It's all right. It's all right. And let's go with the traditional drink. That's peachy. That's sweet but not overpowering. That's good. You know, if I were to take this into the drink lab, I'd probably, I think the traditionally calls for an orange to garnish it. I'd probably either put a squirt of lemon or garnish with a lemon or a little bit of lemon juice or something else just to cut a little bit of that sweet. This is a nice drink. I think you could probably sit and drink these all day. You know, cautiously, of course. Everybody be safe. Call the people you love. You know, it's getting a little crazy out there. Everybody take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Cheers, everybody.